Hi guys, it's Heather from Geek Girls. Thanks again for popping in to have a look at my video. This time I am unboxing and giving my first impressions on an Oracle deck. This one is, excuse me, the Define Feminine Oracle by Meggan Watterson, artwork by Lisbeth Cheever-Gesserman. It's a 53 card deck and guidebook for embodying love. And the back says, this divine feminine oracle is an invitation to reclaim your power. It's a spiritual tool to hone your intuition. Working with it can be a sacred practice of remembering that you contain your own answers. You can drop into your heart, that cathedral of love inside you, and receive what is needed. I have watched unboxings of this deck online, so I am quite aware of what the deck looks like. I watched Ethony's unboxing recently. So I already know that I quite like this deck in terms of the imagery, but let's have a go through anyway. So it is a Hay House, which means, as always, it's got the really good Hay House box, which I really, really like. Again, I've taken the cellophane off, purely because I hate taking the cellophane off on camera. So let us have a look inside. Okay, as always, absolutely chocker guidebook. Love is the force that renders us all equal. The power and importance of the universe exists right here within each of us, just waiting to be remembered. You will meet each of these holy ladies eye to eye so they can remind you of your own light. I want you to experience darshan, a form of seeing and being seen by the divine with each card. I want this oracle to be a sacred mirror so you can't forget just how much divine love you have come from. That's nice. So the book itself is 221 pages, I think. Oh no, that's for the acknowledgements and stuff. So it's 217 pages, and then at the back you've got acknowledgements about the author, about the artist. We've got a table of contents, so each one is numbered. Now the only thing is, they're not in alphabetical order for a start, and the cards themselves, just looking at the cards themselves aren't numbered. So each time you go through a card, you're going to have to search through this list to find the card and then check the number, because they're not in any discernible order that I can tell. So that for me is a big cross in terms of the guidebook. Either put them in alphabetical order in the book or number them. I don't want to spend 5 minutes, I mean I know that's possibly an exaggeration, but I don't want to spend a few minutes searching through the list trying to find the goddamn card before I can get to the right page. It's just a, you know, just a personal preference based on how I tend to read oracle cards. So we've got the introduction, where she explains why she's picked the women that she has, why now, why each card meets you eye to eye. I guess we'll need to read through that to see what she means. I won't tell you how to use this oracle, which is fine. An invitation, an invocation, a soul voice meditation. So something that Ethony said in her video that I also agree with here. So she's put, here's a guided soul voice meditation as an example of how to connect to your heart and hear the truth within. It would have been great if this was recorded somewhere and there was a link for you to actually get the meditation. I mean, I know you can record it yourself. You can record it yourself and play it back to yourself. But I'm not a big fan of guided meditations when they're written, because I never remember them anyway, and I'm not a fan of the sound of my own voice. So if I record them, I tend never to use them or listen to them. But again, it's just personal preference. It doesn't take away from anything. So once you get into the cards, you've got your little black and white thumbnail, as usual, your name of the card, who she is, a little quote, which I believe is also the quote that's on the cards, and then you've got an actual who she is, so it tells you who the person is. When your soul selects her card, so the reading, a soul voice meditation, which is actually a question. It's a contemplation question to consider in meditation when you pick this card. And then an intention, so an intention or an affirmation. So yeah, I like that actually. I like the contemplation question, and I like the affirmation that comes with it. So it's a good book. It is a really good book. I always like Hay House's books. I've got a cold. I do apologise about the throat clearing and all sorts. I'm just going to have a little sip of my tea, actually. It's apple and blueberry. It's a co-op own, and it's actually delicious. It's a really good cup of tea. And I don't know if you noticed, but my Alice mug. So this was bought for me by my my late friend Christina, who passed away in May. So it's my extra special mug now anyway, but I'm a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland, as I've mentioned in other videos. And when it's hot, the liquid is hot, the Cheshire Cat actually disappears and just his smile remains. It's the coolest thing. I love this mug. I love it. I also love on the bottom, which I can't really show you at the moment, but on the bottom it says, for best results, use other side, which I just think is brilliant. Thanks very much. Thanks for the tip. I'll bear that in mind. Anyway, so we have got the backs of the card, which are really simple. I always like really simple backs on oracle cards though. I think they just, you know, I'm not really interested in the back. I didn't buy the cards for the back, so I want them to be nice and simple and straightforward. And that's exactly what they are. And they're, you know, the colour, the red and gold I really like, so I quite like that. As always, good card quality. Your normal Hay House oracle card size, as always. And then for each of your cards, you have got the name, so like Mary Magdalene, who she is, the apostle of the apostles, and then the same little quote that's in the guidebook. So, I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. And then you've got Mary of Nazareth, the mother of God. I am blessed. My courage gives birth to the divine. Ah, well, that's interesting. So that card, the back is a little bit damaged, look. That's a bummer. I think it's the only one like that. Well, that's a shame. It's not a major issue because of the way I, you know, tend to draw oracle, but still. So Joan of Arc, warrior of light, I have steel-like faith in myself. The angels armour me with conviction. Rita of Cascia. I'm not going to read all these out to you. Hopefully you can read what's on them yourself. If not, buy the deck. Marguerite Peretti, the mystic of divine love. When I say I'm not going to read them out, I mean I'm not going to read the bottom sentence out, because we'd be here all day. Perpetua, the saint of authenticity. The Black Madonna, Our Lady of the Hermits. In fact, I'm just going to start reading out the card names. A lot of them, I don't know, I've not heard of. But working with the concept of the divine feminine is something that's really important to me at the moment, and something that really is up there on my list of important spiritual work that I need to be doing right now. So I'm hoping that this deck will help me do that, will help me connect in some way with the divine feminine. That's kind of what led me to buying it in the first place. There have been some complaints about this deck, and I mean, there is some older women, some younger women in there. There's some different, you know, skin colours in there. Not very many, admittedly. It's not the most diverse deck, but it does have some diversity. I suppose one of the biggest criticisms that I have of this deck from having watched other walkthroughs is body type. It's not very diverse in terms of body type, which I think is a shame. I think from my perspective alone, without taking into the wider context, body type is something that's really, a big thing for me at the moment. I'm not, I know you never get to see me, but as a whole, but I'm not a small girl. I am quite a big girl. I do have hips and boobs and a big bum and I'm plus size, I suppose, in terms of the modeling world. Or the clothing industry, that's what they'd call it. And learning to love my body type and accept the type of body that I have is something that has been a real long struggle for me, and something that I'm still not really there with. I still have a ways to go before I truly, honestly can say that I love my body exactly as it is. So I think it would be nice for me, from a personal perspective, learning to work with the divine feminine and my own divine femininity, it would have been good to see a mixture of body types within the deck. But again, it's, it could be argued that that's down to personal preference. I don't know. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think this deck should have had more body type representative? Do you think that it should have also had a lot more diversity in terms of race, skin color, age, that kind of stuff? Do you think this deck is diverse enough to really truly represent divine femininity? That's, I guess, is my question. I like that it's got no borders. Again, tarot, I'm normally a borderless. Oracle, I'm not really bothered one way or the other. But I really think that the no borders on this deck really, really makes the images just pop. Like, really pop. The cards are lovely. I love the cards. I don't know Meggan Watterson at all, and I don't know the artist at all, but I do like what they've done. And again, I mean, I know there are some videos I've watched about this, and people have been less than happy with some of her choices for how how they look, the choices that they've made in terms of representation of the divine feminine that they're supposed to be representing, if that makes sense. But because my knowledge of a lot of these people is either very limited or non-existent, I don't really have an opinion on the choices that they've made in that respect. There's nothing here that makes me go, I don't like that choice, I wouldn't have made that choice, I don't think that's the right image. I do think, though, that they are lovely. I do think they're lovely cards. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to work with these. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these as part of my daily draw on Instagram, as one of my oracles that I use as part of my daily draw, or if I'm going to keep this as a more personal deck that I use to connect purely on a personal level with the divine feminine, and it'll be something that sits near my altar and that I use in some kind of work that I do at my altar instead. I'm not sure if this is a deck that will make an appearance on Instagram anytime soon or not. As I say, working with the divine feminine is something that's really, really important to me at the moment. I only connect with two goddesses I work with. I have symbols for on my altar. I have candles dedicated to them on my altar, and I spend time with them. I don't at the moment work with the divine masculine at all. I'm at a stage where I haven't really felt that there is a place for that in where I am in my life at the moment, and that the Divine Feminine is, for me, where I need to be focusing, if you like. So I think these could really assist me with that whole journey that I'm hoping to be on at the moment. But it's not really something I've given a massive amount of thought to at this stage. I didn't buy the cards with any specific intention. I just bought them because I'd seen the artwork on other people's videos, like Ethony's video, which I will link below, by the way, as I keep mentioning it. But I'd seen like her walkthrough of the deck, and I just really liked it. I just really liked the images. I really liked the card stock. I really liked, you know, the whole idea. And I bought it because it was a deck I knew I liked. How I choose to use with it is something that I haven't yet figured out. There's just a few more. I mean, there is also the, you know, I am polytheistic. I do believe in individual deities, and the deities that I work with, the two deities that I work with, are, for those that are interested and who don't already know, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, are Hecate and Athena. And I do believe that they are individual goddesses in their own, you know, individual beings in their own right. That's my experience with them. But I also believe in the bigger concept of the Divine Feminine. So when I talk about working with the Divine Feminine, it's less about working with deity, if that makes sense, and more about working with the concept of the feminine divine for me. But it is still very much a sort of formulation of thoughts in my head rather than an actual thing that I can express and put into words at this stage. Hopefully one day I'll get there, and then maybe I can make a video and we can have a chat about that. But for now, the deck is just a way for me to kind of start to figure out what all this looks like for me, and how I connect with the Divine Feminine and the Divine Feminine within myself and within the universe, if that makes any sense at all. So that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the cards with me. I am really pleased with this deck. I don't know if you've seen my other video that I did, that I filmed, I also filmed today for the Spirit Song Tarot. I was a little bit deflated after I'd opened the Spirit Song Tarot and done the walkthrough, but then I opened this one and did the walkthrough with you, and I'm actually really excited about this one, and I'm really pleased with the images and the deck. So that's kind of perked me back up again, so I'm quite happy with that. That is all for today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.